A lot of people in the comments asked what would happen if modern NATO went to war not with ancient armies, but with the full military power of the World War II era. So let's go. This is not a simple mismatch. This is a clash between two industrial ages separated by 80 years of technology. NATO is not one army. It is a military alliance of 32 countries with roughly 3.5 million active personnel, around 12,000 modern tanks, over 5,000 combat aircraft, including stealth fighters, and about 1,500 warships equipped with missiles, satellites, and networked command systems. Now, put that against the combined peak forces of World War II. The United States, the Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, Imperial Japan, and their allies at their height, fielding over 70 million personnel, tens of thousands of tanks like the T-34 and Panzer IV, thousands of aircraft like the Supermarine Spitfire and Messerschmitt Bf 109, and massive naval fleets built around battleships and early aircraft carriers. Every weapon they ever deployed, every general they ever followed, all of them at once against a fully mobilized NATO force. The setting is the same open plains of Central Europe. Flat terrain, no cities, no mountains, no cover. NATO has full satellite surveillance and knows exactly where the enemy is. The World War II forces have radios, radar in its early form, and coordinated command, but nothing that can see beyond the horizon in real time. The battle begins at dawn. Phase 1, the air war. And this is where the timeline breaks instantly. NATO launches first. Within hours, stealth aircraft like the F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II enter contested airspace, supported by AWACS and electronic warfare planes. World War II aircraft scramble. Thousands of fighters take off, but they are flying blind compared to NATO pilots using beyond visual range missiles. The first engagements happen at distances WWII pilots cannot even comprehend. They are locked and destroyed before they see their enemy. Dogfights do happen, but only briefly, because modern missiles end fights in seconds, not minutes. Strategic bombers like the B-2 Spirit and B-52. Stratofortress begins striking airfields, supply lines, and armored concentrations. Precision-guided munitions replace carpet bombing. Every strike hits something critical. By the end of Week 1, the World War II air forces are effectively destroyed on the ground and in the air. Tens of thousands of aircraft lost, and with them, any chance of contesting the skies. Phase 2, long-range firepower and command collapse. The World War II armies are still massive and still advancing, but now they are being tracked from space. NATO artillery and missile systems enter the fight. HIMARS launches GPS-guided rockets from over 70 kilometers away. Cruise missiles strike headquarters moments after they are detected. Commanders who once relied on field radios and couriers find their command posts erased within minutes of transmitting orders. Tanks like the T-34 and Panzer divisions push forward in massive formations. The same tactics that once overwhelmed enemies. But now, those dense formations become targets. Modern artillery shells, guided by drones and satellites, land with devastating precision, wiping out entire battalions in seconds. The German blitzkrieg relies on speed and coordination, but coordination collapses when communication nodes are constantly destroyed. The Soviet deep battle doctrine relies on overwhelming numbers, but numbers become a liability when every cluster is visible from orbit. By the end of Week 2, millions are dead, not from close combat, but from impacts they never saw coming. Supply chains break down, fuel depots burn, rail lines are severed, and armies that once stretched across continents begin to fragment. Phase 3, the ground war. And this is where the illusion of parity disappears completely. NATO ground forces engage with main battle tanks like the M1 Abrams and Leopard 2 against World War II armor. The difference is absolute. Modern thermal optics allow NATO crews to see through smoke, darkness, and weather. Targeting systems lock on instantly and fire with precision at ranges where World War II tanks cannot even identify a target. A single Abrams can destroy multiple enemy tanks in under a minute.
Remaining effectively immune to return fire, most World War II anti-tank weapons cannot penetrate modern composite armor. Infantry engagements are even more one-sided. NATO soldiers equipped with modern rifles, optics, night vision, and coordinated support engage enemies who rely on iron sights and line-of-sight communication. The kill ratio becomes extreme, but numbers still matter. World War II forces have tens of millions of troops, and some units do close the distance through sheer mass. Isolated NATO units can be overwhelmed, not by superior weapons, but by relentless waves of manpower. However, every localized success is temporary, because NATO responds with airstrikes, artillery, and rapid reinforcement. Phase 4. The breaking point. By the end of the first month, the World War II coalition has lost tens of millions of soldiers, most of its armor, and almost all of its air power. Remaining forces are scattered, cut off from supply, and operating without unified command. NATO has taken losses, but far fewer, primarily in isolated ground engagements where units were surrounded. This is the moment where the war effectively ends. Not because every soldier is dead, but because the system holding them together no longer exists. Generals cannot communicate, supply cannot reach the front, and soldiers cannot understand the weapons killing them from beyond sight. The remaining forces dissolve into fragmented groups, trying to survive. Rather than fight the outcome, NATO wins decisively, not because World War II armies were weak, but because they were built for a completely different kind of war. A war where visibility range defined engagement distance, where communication had delay, and where firepower was limited by line of sight. Modern warfare breaks all of those rules simultaneously. A NATO force outnumbered 10 or even 20 to 1 still dominates because every unit operates with information, speed, and precision that World War II commanders could never counter. If commanders like Georgy Zhukov or Erwin Rommel had seen a modern battlefield, they would recognize immediately that tactics alone cannot bridge a technological gap this wide. The real conclusion is not that one side is stronger, it is that the definition of warfare itself changed. And once that change happened, the outcome was already decided before the first shot was fired.
And if you want to see more video like it, hit nice subscribe to the channel and comment with your next idea.